Greetings everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed and welcome back to Missing Time. What an emotional rollercoaster so far it has been. And now, the weekend leaves me at a bit of a loss. I didn't know what to expect after everything that was spoken about. Shizeo never further explained anything she showed me before the date. And the way she words her past was unnerving, to say the least. Unnerving is a light way of putting it. I considered calling someone to talk about it, but ultimately decided it would be a terrible idea. Emery is out of the question, being the main suspect. Even now, after reading through all those documents, it's still a tough pill to swallow. Same goes to Ember. This could go either way. A revenge crime or something that has been continued for years under everyone's nose. And of course, there's no way I can tell Chiharu. She would be both devastated and terrified. Also, she may not believe me as well. Not that I am any better, but Chiharu doesn't have the best poker face. Not when the suspects are so close. Even thinking of them as suspects seems weird. I know. Monday comes and I honestly considered skipping school. No. I would most likely fumble around the other club members, and I don't know how to face Shizeo. I am 100% sure she is hiding something from me. I think she shared a lot with us in such a short duration of time, but I can understand why you would think that Shizeo is still hiding stuff from us. But I can't decide whether it's because she is way too close to this case, or it's because she thinks I won't believe her. Or it's because she is guilty somehow. I'm pretty sure in another sense if we pursued this, but on Emery's route, when she already gave us some information that would be going against Shizeo, or against Emma. Ember, sorry, not Ember. Not Emma. Ember. Thankfully, I managed to avoid everyone in the morning since none of them is in my class. There isn't a meeting scheduled either. I doubt there is going to be one soon, not with that little spat between Ember and Emery last time. Just to be safe, I advert our usual lunchtime as well, hiding out at the back of the school for lunch break. And yet... Flare? Huh? And here's Chiharu. Sorry, didn't mean to startle you. It's okay. I'm just a bit distracted. What's up? Oh, well, I didn't see her at lunch, so I, oh, yeah, sorry, I was just, rubbing the back of my neck. I hesitate for an excuse, which probably only makes Chiharu more nervous. I don't want to lie to Chiharu, but, sorry, I've just been a bit occupied. Exams, you know. Yeah, it's getting really close, huh? Yeah. An awkward silence fills the gap between us. Chiharu fidgets. Unsure on what to say, I turn away, feeling somewhat guilty. Well, Ember wants to study together after school. Do you want to join? I'm sure both Chiharu and I know I'm not going to be there, but I smile at her a little just to ease her worries a bit. I'll let you know, okay? Alright, text me, okay? Okay. With one last concerned look, Chiharu walks away. I watch after her retreating form, kicking thoughts around in my head. I can't be a bundle of nerves forever. I don't think even Shizeo's help or the evidence she has shown me can shed light on the cases. It's not going to help, especially with outrageous claims about magic and the Odashi testing on human subjects. Even if we bring this out of town, we most likely will end up as laughing stocks. Hell, I'm still on the fence with this myself. However, I have to admit Shizeo got into my head, regardless of the outcome. I want to know what the truth is. Even if she doesn't know, I can bet anything on Shizeo holding the key to it. And if she isn't willing to follow this till the end, for one reason or another, I can keep going. Alone if I must. Unknowingly, I've been staring at the empty screen of my phone all this time. With shaking fingers, I open my contact list. We need to talk. A cold discomfort spreads across my body, like 1,000 needles pricking me at the same time. I can't trust Ember or Emery, but I don't know if I can trust Shizeo either. Ironic, she is the one to plant seeds of doubt in the first place. Yes, we do. Meet me after school in the storage room. There? Where the horrific scenery is actually transpired for Chiharu. You want us to meet in there? As if on cue, the bells ring. Startled, I fire off a quick okay before heading to class. Once settled at my desk, I start to overthink it. Why did I reach out to begin with? Shizeo didn't want to tell me anything in detail, except for that gruesome narration, the reason why nobody gives a flying damn about the demises. And based on her flippant attitude at night, it's clear she didn't want to follow up with the investigations. Then why bother to show me all of that? Why bother to give me the files, or the evidence in that USB? Why bother to take me out on that date? I'm not going crazy, am I? Not paying attention to the teacher, I come back on all the details that have crossed my mind. No, even without all the things Shizeo showed me, Ember has kept me on the fence for a while now. She lied to all of us on multiple occasions, and while there have been apologies, the explanations she gave were winded. Insincere, the more I think about it, the more red flags I see. On the other hand, Emery is an entirely different matter. Another can of worms. She has always been secretive, and the fact that she has no reason to be anywhere near the club, much less participating, has always confused me. She strongly dislikes Ember. She disapproves of Shizeo's involvements. Emery doesn't have anything to say to me and Chiharu to our faces. And that's just it. As we have no relation whatsoever. As I remember from the one ending through Chiharu's route, there was something within the protagonist's grandfather's diary that mentioned that, in a hypothetical sense, the protagonist could have been an Onishi. Scratching the back of my head furiously, or at least related to them, I barely have the sense to stop myself from snapping aloud in frustration. This isn't going anywhere. The meeting with Shizeo couldn't come fast enough. I jump to my feet the moment the bells ring. Stopping myself short from dashing past bewildered students, I break off from the usual throws, careful to avoid Chiharu's classroom. I can only assume Shizeo wants our conversation to be discreet, and to be honest, so do I. Just get to the point, Shizeo. In spite of my own anxiety, I manage to wait until the foot traffic dies down before slinking my way towards the storage room. Gosh, doesn't this place give us memories? Hello, she isn't here yet. Quietly enter, reaching behind to close the door as per habit. Instead of a handle, I feel the lumpy, scratched up surface of where it should have been. Startled to turn around, stepping deeper into the room. They never fixed it. It's strange, with all the new developments. Chiharu's incident has completely slipped my mind. I do feel a little guilty over it. But if I manage to get to the bottom of this, I would also be able to uncover her assailant too. And keep us the hell away from them. Once and for all. You're early? Heart thumping, I can only stare as Shizeo slips inside. The door closes with a soft click behind her, drowning us both in darkness. I stand rooted at the spot, listening to the rustles as she tugs at the light switch experimentally. It doesn't work, and I almost jump out of my skin when she turns on the flashlight of her phone. The pale but harsh light casts an eerie silhouette on Shizeo. Her hair stark against the shadow and her eyes have an almost ethereal glow to them. She looks like a ghost. My palms begin to sweat. Have I really been this jittery the whole day? So, here we are. You sound unsure. I take a deep breath. Somehow, despite how much I've been overthinking myself, standing here in front of Shizeo makes my thoughts slip away. I just really want to find out the truth. Oh? Yeah. Even if ultimately we can't do anything about it, knowing what happened, what's still happening, would be better than being kept in the dark forever. Finally, I gave in to my nerves and start to pace around. Shizeo still stays oddly quiet, her eyes following me as I make my constricted lapse. Before you say it wouldn't matter, trust me, I thought long and hard about it over the weekend. I know we don't have the authority to do anything. I know even if we find out who the culprit is, chances are we can't bring them to light. Even so, I still want to know, because maybe I can at least keep the people I care about away from danger. I swallow dryly. I don't want anyone I care about to die. But people die, Flare, one way or another. Her deadpan words stop me in my tracks. Shocked, I can barely keep the trembles out of my voice. But Shizeo, loving and being loved. Part of that is saying goodbye. Everyone has their own limited amount of time given to them. Not knowing how to let go will only bring more suffering. But it's not right to have time taken away either. If Shizeo was fazed by my exclamation, she doesn't show it. She rolls her shoulders, never once averting her eyes. And how are you so sure that it is taken away from them? How are you so sure that it's simply not their time? Gosh. My lower jaw unhinges. Shizeo's stare is still unflinching. She is being serious. A cold wave sweeps through my body, raising goosebumps on its wake. Standing here like this, speaking in that tone, the resemblance between Shizeo and Emery right now is uncanny. It's a side of hers I've never seen before. It's so cold and detached. I almost expect Shizeo to burst out laughing in my face, or worse, that the person in front of me is actually Emery wearing contacts and a wig. But that doesn't seem to be the case. How could you say that? She cocks her head to the side, studying me under snow-white lashes. Silence passes between us, stagnant and stale. I ball my hands into fists, feeling my muscles rattle under her scrutiny. What has gotten into Shizeo? Nobody wants to die, Flare. Nobody wants to have their time taken away either. It happens anyway. It's not fair. Do you think that I think it's fair? I open my mouth to retort, but realization makes it snap closed. Of course. I'm sorry, Shizeo. I didn't mean... You can be rather dense, can't you? I told you I don't want your pity. You talk too much. A long sigh escapes her, rustling the dusty air around her, scared that she would just walk away. I keep my mouth shut, waiting. I mean it. You can be dense. I deserve that. But regardless of what happens today, I will win. I blink, completely caught off guard by this statement. What the hell does she mean by win? What do you mean, Shizeo? And here I thought you wanted answers. Yes, but you keep skipping the answers. If this is about this weekend, sorry, but I'm sorry, alright? I didn't mean to make it get into anything personal. I just want to find the truth. The truth, huh? Tell me, Flare. Will you be able to take the truth you are so thirsty for as it is? You know what, Shizeo? You can be a handful sometimes, you know that? A big old handful with that eerie, ominous look. Just spit it out. A ghost of a smirk crosses her lips. Instinctively, I take a step backward. Don't tell me that you're scared now. You know, for all the stupid blunders, you can be such an interesting creature. I'll even admit, you manage to surprise me sometimes. Like that text earlier you sent me. What a happy accident. My stomach churns. Something is disturbing with the way Shizuyo's been behaving. I have half a mind to just leave, but my stubbornness wins over. At least one of my suspicions is confirmed. Shizeo knows more than she lets on. The question is, do I want to stick around and find out just exactly what she is hiding from me? Despite my earlier eagerness, I don't know for sure. Before coming to decision, Shizeo steps forward. Her free arm opens wide, as if she is making some sort of grand announcement. I admit it. What do you mean you're the mastermind? What are you talking about? Is this another one of your jokes? If it is, it's not funny. Like I said, dance. How unattractive. No, this isn't a joke. No, it's more of a I'm getting tired of this game kind of thing. Oh. Great. Isn't that just grand, fantastic? It's just a timer. She trails forward slowly, predatory, startled. I maneuver myself as best I can in the cramped space, keeping my distance. The terrible feeling I have worsens, and I inch close towards the door, hoping that Shizeo wouldn't notice I'm trying to secure my exit. What do you mean? You see, there are several ways tonight could be panned out, all of which would play into my end game. Flare, do you know that Ember has a loyalty trigger? Loyalty trigger? What is that supposed to mean? Now, what do you think happens to a dog psychologically when it was neglected? Oh no, and finally receives a smudge of attention. I narrow my eyes. Shizeo smirks. It's too bad Shiharu wasn't there before all of this started. She might have been able to save that dog. Shoot. Too bad I was the one to find Ember first. So you knew all this time. You knew about Ember before you allegedly found the files. You don't seem surprised. Good. You have intrigued me on more than one occasion. Nice to know the trend has been kept alive. Now, Ember might have her moments, but at the end of the day, she is still just a dog. A feral one. She will bite the direction she is pointed to. All I needed to do, should you have agreed to go with her and Chiharu, was tipping her off on your suspicions. Then, I assure you, it wouldn't be a happy ending. Oh God. Oh God. You... She smirks again, crooked, unhinged, but still cold and composed. Oh yes, you are finally putting two and two together. Chiharu is lined up as the next victim. I don't need to elaborate, do I? Not with the evidence that I showed you. Ah, Flare, I can promise you, for as much as my words weigh right now, those are all true. You. How could... Noises tremble out of my mouth, unable to form a cohesive sentence. But as I stand frozen in terror, I have a sickening feeling that Shizeo understands anyway. Oh, I'm not lying. They say a dying person does not lie after all. So you're probably wondering, well, you might not be judging by your expression there, but I must humour myself a little. What if you decide to bring Chiharu in on our little secret? Well now, both you and I would only be... Both you and I know it would only be a matter of days before she breaks. Fragile little thing. That would give Ember no choice but to silence her. The casualness in the way she dropped that line. I throw myself away from her, my back slamming painfully against the wall. You're insane! Now terrified, I fumble with the door. Desperate, I scrape at the melted marks. The door only swings inside. I'm trapped in here with Shizeo. Sheesh! Now that's just rude. Despite my obvious panic, Shizeo's voice is completely unfazed. That only scares me more. I proceed to try and kick the door down. God damn it, there must be someone left at school. Someone? Anyone? And, of course, don't think I have forgotten what have I told my sister or Ember herself for that matter. Come on, what kind of door is this? Dear sweet protagonist. Do you honestly think Ember would ever let you speak again after knowing what you know? And Ember, you might not even have enough remains to fill a matchbox with her. God damn it! And I suggest you stop trying. Chiharu obviously did to no avail, remember? Blood freezes in my veins. My muscles turn to stone. Slowly I turn around knowing that my eyes are wide with terror. You. Yes, me. But I couldn't do all that without Ember. That handle was melted by her, don't you know? In fact, she herself has made some unique modifications to this room. So Ember was the one. Oh gods. And she has been getting closer and closer to Chiharu. Is this why Ember, Chiharu, they're together right now? Who do you think suggested that? Time seems to stop. At the very moment, I could just see how all these pieces fit together, painting a terrible picture in my head. Ember and Shizeo, they have known each other, have worked together way before all of this happened. They both were victims of the experiments. They both needed the same substance to survive. Somewhere along the way, Ember became an instrument to Shizeo's machinations, following a carefully curved out path that would doom anyone who crossed their ways. Me and Chiharu, we were baited in, and I just handed myself to Shizeo on a silver platter. Before I could stop myself, or Shizeo at that moment, I whip out my phone. Chiharu. And of course, Shizeo would do that. To my horror, a throwing knife appears out of nowhere, knocking my phone away, giving my hand a long bleeding gash. Nah, can't have you ruining all the fun now, can we? Holding my hand to my chest, my brain frantically scours my options. The door obviously isn't budging. I could try and dive for my phone either, but knives in Shizeo's hand would make quick work for that. It feels like it. All this talking and plotting, and we have yet to touch on your own involvement, haven't we? What do you mean? You're the one who orchestrated all of this? Well, that is true. You could say I am the seasoned mastermind, even when I left a lot of details up to chance. Like your move back here, for once. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if I finally collapsed from reveal overload. A high-pitched delirious snort of laughter escapes me. What? You're gonna say you manipulated that as well? We came back by my grandpa's will. But did you? You don't know, do you? Yes, that was it. And he had such close ties to, that he knew what she was doing all along. No, I'm sorry, she's not lying. Now, I don't know if he was directly involved, but a girl could never be too sure, can she? He didn't put up much of a fight. Not when he saw an actual cursed host. Oh god. This can't be. What the hell? Why? You and Chiharu could have gotten out, you know. I might have altered his will. But you two didn't have to join the club. You could have quit so early on. When Ember had no emotional ties. When she was still feeling merciful. This can't be real. Shizeo is a monster. Ember is probably having so much fun right now. You must think I'm a sadistic, but Ember. Oh great, her lower chuckle sends shivers down my spine. You should see Ember in a bloodlust. She does have a taste for fresh meat after all. Is this how all the victims felt? Trapped? Helpless? Betrayed? My eyes dart to the phone. No, Child right now. If I die here, nobody would know. Nobody's going to know the truth. And Chiharu will probably die too, being with Ember right now. Poor sweet Chiharu, she never suspected it. Imagine the look on her face when Ember's teeth closes around her flesh. Shizeo clicks her tongue. Wet, sharp, terrifying. Such a pure soul. I bet she is that, all that untainted flesh, soft and dripping, yeah. I almost regret not being there. I have to do something. Yes, we can, but what can we do in this predicament? There's definitely a bad ending with Shizeo. But I can always count on you, right, Flare? What do you want from me? What do you think? Gosh, she lunges at me, her own phone clattering to the ground. I push myself away from the door, narrowly escaping her slash. Blindly grabbing at the shelves, I throw a dusty box in Shizeo's direction, hoping to distract her. There isn't much room in here, and I can't just dodge Shizeo forever. Throwing stuff at her will only impede my movements in the long run. I have to fight back. Oh dear. Shizeo dashed at me, a manic grin on her lips. I try to sidestep her, but one of her boxes catches my feet. Great. And yep, the knife goes down the back, my hand shoots out, grabbing and tearing out a loose iron strip. Instinctively, I lash it out. Well, lash out with it, okay. Grasping as the stick actually strikes Shizeo. Great, she stumbles backwards. Staring at the bleeding gash in her arm, heart drumming loudly in my ears, I stand still, stock still, shaking to the core. What have I done? What has Shizeo done? Did I just hurt her? But Shizeo, deserves it, right? She is. Shizeo is a monster. She deserves it. She deserves that. She did that, and she will kill Chiharu too. She has to. Slowly, haunting red eyes turns towards me again, skin crawling a flinch under her gaze. So this is it then. She drags a thumb along her wound, coating it with blood. Mortified, I watch as Shizeo pops her finger into her mouth. Yikes. Tongue swirling around the crimson droplets. You know, maybe you've managed to surprise me from time to time, but you are just a little drone after all. Controlled, doing things you were told to, just like Ember. Ember is a murderer. I am nothing like her. Circumstantial victim, and we'll see about that. The glint of metal is almost too fast to catch. Grasping, I dive out of the way milliseconds before another one of her throwing knives skewers me. Oh gosh, it has clipped me through, and I wince as blood seeps through my side. Gosh! How you still up, man? The pain in Shizeo's smug face fierce spike through my system 1,000-fold. She really intends to kill me here, but I can't. If I die, Chiharu wouldn't even have a chance. So what's it gonna be? You or me? That is my last warning. Shizeo charges, blade swinging. A strangled shout escapes me as I vault inside, myself to the side, clumsily avoid her attacks. Hard hammering a lash out with my metal strip, but surprise isn't on my side this time. I quickly realise that Shizeo outmaneuvers me, and the only edge I have over here is probably brute strength. That won't save me though. Gritting my teeth to prevent a cry, I back into a corner as her blade slashes into my shoulder. The smile carved into Shizeo's face is truly overkill, and with both terror and manic frustration do I understand now that she is toying with me. Like a cat with her mouse. It hits me like a hammer. Yep. I do like you, you know. I thought you were different. Alas, you just aren't special enough. And Chiharu is going to pay for it. Rah! I lash out roaring, but Shizeo is prepared. She dances out of the way, laughing, mocking my anger and hopelessness. Why Chiharu? Why us? Puh, duh, you're the easy targets. Oh, wipe that look off of your face, you know it's true. For a hot minute there, you did intrigue me, Flare. You were observant, you were attentive. You are smart of a lot of guys and you are walking in the right direction. I genuinely thought you were just a tiny bit like me. My eyes dart sideways knowing that Shizeo is going to strike me again, but there's no reasoning with her. She wants me to die. But you follow instructions a little too well. Regardless of the outcome, Flare, I will always win. Great. Instead of dodging a surge at her, like, why do you think that would work? The pain spikes further fear and rage within me, and I press on screaming. It is as if everything slows down. I can pinpoint exactly when her evil sneer turns into shock. I can hear her grunt as the metal strip drives into soft flesh. I can feel the splatter of her blood on my skin. Ah! Oh dear. Now that is a sight to behold. When you face your own medicine. The momentum sends us crashing into a shelf. Eyes bulging, Shizeo lashes out, cutting up my arms. With a sickening wet noise, I pull out the strip. And drive it back into... Okay. I thought there was going to be even a sense of remorse here, but no. There's just even more of it. I drive it back inside her again. I feel like this is not going to end though. Blank. And again. Blank. And again. Go. And again. To hell. And again. Somehow I knew that was going to come up. Oh, dearie me. I scream, stabbing one final time into the mess that was Shizuyo's abdomen. I feel like somehow she's just going to get back up. Body and hands soaked in blood. Her blood. A choked sob escapes me. Shizeo. Shizeo is dead. I'm still having my doubts about this. I'm sensing some sort of necromancy about this. My vision clouds over, but a single goal pushes me on. A broken sob tears out of my throat as I inch toward the light, picking up her phone. Blood smears over the cracked screen. This time I didn't let the tears fall, as my wet fingers slip and slide, unable to bring the phone to life. Come on. Come on. Charu. Please? Giving up the futile fumbles, I crawl over to where my phone is, digging through the fallen boxes of trash, leaving behind the crimson stains. Come on, please. My sliver of hope, all my efforts, my crime, shattered like the phone in my hand. I can feel it. I can feel it bubble under my skin. Tremors rack through my stained fingers. I can hear Shizuyo's mocking laughter in my head. A shout tears out. I snap myself around, throwing my broken phone at Shizuyo's pulped body. This is all your fault. With an unbridled rage, despair-fueled adrenaline courses through me. I pick up whatever object around me and throw it at the corpse. You ruined everything! I scream until my voice is hoarse. Splatters of blood darken whatever untouched surfaces of the room. The smell is nauseating, the sight even more so. But I couldn't. Grandpa. Chiharu. A sob rips out of my throat. I stumble backwards. My body collides painfully against a shelf. But I can't feel a thing. I can't. Every muscle in my body trembles, as if someone had cut all the strings holding me up. I crumble to my knees. Eyes gaze over. I stare down at the only one beside myself in this cursed room. Holy moly. That is an impalement and a half. What do we do from here? Is this our fate? Is this the only thing we can stare at? I feel like the game's just ended here abruptly. Like, we can't go back to him. Oh. We can. Flare? Flare, are you in there? Chiharu? Oh, there's these two! Blessings are on our side! Flare, oh my Flare, we've been... Yep, too much for Chiharu. You... monster! Stumbling her fate, Chiharu snaps away. Dreadful gagging sounds fill the air as she empties her stomach. Wait! It's Chiharu... Then... Great. Now we're going to be vanquished. My eyes widen, unseen of a seething life forming in Emery's hands. With this arrow, I release an end of the line. Oh God. May there be peace for the cursed. What have I cut the ties that tethers to this earth? Done. Repent. Chiharu. The light is binding, searing me into the very core. What have I told you? I always win. Great. End. Yeah, definite end there. So, yeah, essentially, we was like a drone to her. Like, we read all through all the files and we've done everything that she asked. So, there might have been a way so that we just don't follow along and we don't read a USB. We don't ask her about the facts and all that. So I think there could be a way from there. Nope. How blasphemous that is, but nope. Side with Ember? Ember is right. Putting up wards and seals right now would just make everyone panic further. I'm not dismissing your concern, Emery, but there must be a better way to handle it. That's what you think. No matter, none of you hold authority over me. What should be done must be done. Okay, Emery. Emery's eyes never meet mine, but I have a sharp glint. I see a sharp glint, sorry. Cold in fury. With 2 long strides, Emery briskly walks out of the classroom and disappears around the corner. My spine prickles, but I brush that fiend aside. Seriously, who does she think she is? Emery can be pretty intense when she sets her mind to something. Then why did you edge on her? I didn't edge on her, even after I disagreed with her. Do you seriously think I could stop her? Yep, Emma narrows her eyes, but doesn't have anything further to say. The silence after is just too uncomfortable for us to continue. We agreed to set up another meeting for Friday, not too optimistic about Emery attending. That's just the way it goes. It's understandable about when everyone show up, Emery appears to be missing. Well, here we are. Emery is held up by some prior arrangements. Whatever. Despite looking obviously irked, Emery sucks in a long breath, schooling her expression to neutral. 4 of us huddle outside a modern apartment building, its new windows and metallic frames sparkling under the sun. This must be one of the newer developments in town, just a few streets southwest of the shopping mall. There's a huge construction site just across the road, rumbling with machines. I wonder why Ember chose to bring us here. Not gonna beat around the bush. This is where they found 2 victims. Yikes. Well then. According to my research, this building is under gang control. By research you mean snooping around, right? Shut up! The bodies found inside were both from Komachi High. However, one was first announced as missing and was announced dead much later than the true time of death. How do you know about the true time of death then? Hearing this, all of us stand a bit straighter. Except for Chiharu is completely frightened again. Cowering next to Ember, something akin to confusion skirts over Shizeo's expression as she looks up at the building, squinting. Perhaps because of the tension from our last meeting. Perhaps it was a shock over this year's first victim still fresh in my mind. But I burst out before I could stop myself. Were they former club members? All eyes turned to me. Ember's hands curled to fists. Dryly I swallow. I'm hoping, hoping that Ember won't lose her cool over this. One was. Something seems familiar about this place. I've been here before, I think. You run around all the time, though, and this place isn't exactly new, you know. Not from the mall either. Yeah, that must be it. Shizeo doesn't sound wholly convinced, but she's more than willing to drop the subject. Both victims were ruled as suicides. However, the first on scene for the student case was another former member club. Club member? Where's my words going? The witness said the crime scene was like a wild beast was unleashed in the apartment. Blood everywhere, furniture torn apart, doors broken down, belongings shredded and thrown everywhere. That kind of jazz. Whoever committed the crime must have terribly resented the victim to do such a thing. That, or it's some sort of warning. That's what I thought. Police public statements and reports got none of that. The witness, our former club member, tried to talk to people at school about the truth, but... Ember's fists clench again, her fangs bearing with how hard she's gritting her teeth. She was bullied for it. People call her crazy and everything. That's so terrible. Yeah, and she ended up a victim herself. Suzumi Katsuki. That student. Instinctively, Chihara reaches out and grabs my arm. Her entire body shaking. I can't believe her. I'm pretty scared as well. The more we know about these cases, the worse they sound. Thoughts about quitting resurface once more. So what are we doing here? Do you want to show us the crime scene or something? More or less. Things have been cleaned up ages ago, but knowing the building's layouts and how the culprit could commit such acts without being caught can help us. I'm good. Maybe I can wait for you guys out here? Now, Chiharu. Didn't you hear, Ember? This area is gang territory. What if someone scary comes here while we're inside and snatch you right up? That's even worse. Oh dear, goes towards Ember. Scared out of a witch, Chiharu is now gripping tightly on both me and Ember. Blushing, Ember reached out an awkward hand at her pat on Charles. Why are you making that smirk, Shizeo? It's okay. I don't want to be alone. It's okay, Chiharu. There's 4 of us. We should be fine. Seeing how freaked out Chiharu is, even Shizeo isn't too keen on teasing her anymore. It's okay. It's just going to be a quick peep, right? Yeah. So, with much whimpering on Chiharu's part, we cautiously enter the building. It was normal, if not quite a bit empty. The interior was rather industrial and minimalistic, a far cry from the rest of the town. It's not luxurious like the complexes I've seen in the city, but definitely not on the shabby side. We didn't linger at the reception area too long since a burly security man behind the counter keeps giving us the stink eye. Confidently, Ember leads us up to the 4th floor. Chiharu was wheezing a bit after the first few stairs. The first victim was discovered here. Oh dear. Chiharu immediately goes to hide behind me and Ember. On the contrary, Shizeo steps towards the door Ember is pointing at. Pretty sure it's occupied now. I can hear very loud TV noises from the inside. It's not like we can check the insides anyway. It must all be scrubbed clean by now. Yeah. What are we supposed to do then? Without prompting, I look around the corner. It's the same as the reception area. Clean. No decor. Standard. But there are cameras at the corners of the walls. With those angles, they should be able to monitor anything coming and going. Were the cameras here before, Ember? Yeah, the building is pretty tightly secured. That's why it'd be difficult for a culprit to pop in and out after committing a crime, especially after the first incident. Well, we just basically waltzed in no issues. Yeah, but apparently according to the witness, the front door was tampered with. Something like the storage room. Something jolts deep in the pit of my stomach. My eyes automatically dart to Chiharu, unable to stop my mind from going back to that horrifying night. Yikes. Squeezing my eyes shut, I shake my head once, Then turned to Ember and Shizeo, who were now stalking towards the window at the end of the corridor to look down. I mean, the fire escape looks pretty unguarded to me. No surveillance on the front. Don't think so. The three of us looked down to the alleyway at the back of the building. The fire escape built outside is part ladder, part stairs, metallic and steep. Had got to be a monster to climb all the way up here not making a sound and then climb down after all that commotion. Ember shrugs, but her shoulders stiffen along with her face. That's why I said the gang is involved. It has to be an inside job. What could some high schoolers possibly do to the mobs to get murdered like that, though? Could be anything, from something petty to something big. Maybe they were members of the gangs themselves. But if I and Shizeo look at Ember in surprise, what? You think those two were gang members? That's a bit much. And the other victim was a club member as well. Under our stares, Ember is all flustered. However, before she could retort, Chiharu's shaky voice sounds behind us. Guys, I think? Yeah, what are you kids doing here? Rounding the corner of a security guard from reception yells at us. Me, Chiharu, and Shizeo immediately withered, while Ember puffs up. Visiting a friend. What's it to you? Realization dawns upon the man's face. You again? What did I tell you last time I caught you sneaking around? Scramble or I'll break your legs. We're going. Sorry. Before the situation could escalate further, Shizeo with one hand around Ember's wrist and the other around Chiharu's arms forcefully drags both away from the fuming man. I hastily trail behind, pushing Ember forward when she tries to turn away. Oh dear. Together we stumble out of the building, Ember still indignant and Chiharu is still trembling from head to toe. Shizeo and I exchange a look. Well, that was exciting. Ugh. Scary guy. He's an ass. That's one way to put it. I mean, he's just doing his job. I was just about to say that. How do you know the building is gang territory anyway? Sensing the incoming storm, Shizeo waves her hands apologetically. I'm just asking out of curiosity. I found out about it by coincidence. I saw the gang's leader entering the building with subordinates. I was curious and decided to put the building under surveillance. They've been operating out of here, and I saw a few town officials coming and going as well. Somehow that's not buying your side of the story, Ember. Another part of an entirely different complex. That's some serious accusation. Shizeo and I exchange another look. So you've done lots of snooping around then? No wonder the guy was peed off. Can't you take anything seriously? I am trying to. I mean, I don't doubt you and all, but it is a serious accusation. All of us stare at Ember, waiting. She looks like she is trying really hard to rein in her anger. Honestly though, if she blows up, I'd be done. As much as I enjoy Ember's antics, I can't help but remember that she has hidden crucial information from us before. Murders, gains, shady dealings. They don't sound at all like something us high schoolers should be tangled with. I have photo evidence, but it's not something that should be shown in public. Oh? Let's see. Let's go to the other location. More murder scenes? Yes. Let's go! And obviously Chiharu is not pleased at all. There, Chiharu. What have you done? Our next step is another apartment complex. This one near the hospital. Another 2 bodies were found in there. Unfortunately, there was no witness testimony, and all 3 of them were former members of the club. We didn't get to go inside, as there was a buzzer system. Chiharu is visibly thankful for that. The last crime scene, however, brings us to a different scenario. The last body was found in this park's pond. That's a different MO. No. Yes, it was the other facility member, Mrs. Saya Okani. So a drowning case, huh? Yeah, there are reports about the corpse all tangled up underwater because, you know, morning joggers found her. But nobody really thought about it. If it was a self-inflicted case, then the shallow water shouldn't be sufficient enough to drown herself. Forced. Could the water current have pushed the body there? It's a lake. Even if the wind was super strong that day, it couldn't have pushed someone from the deeper part of the lake to the shore and under all the growth. Yeah, you do sound there, Ember. And I just realised Shizuyo has cat socks. That's so cute. Her expressionism, though. That makes sense. The corpse was found with a broken neck, which was allegedly the same condition we found other bodies. Yikes, indeed. But you said the witness said the body found in the first complex apartment was mangled. Yes, things don't seem to add up, do they? A broken neck on a drowned victim. A broken neck on someone who was mauled to death. A broken neck on... So nobody came forward about the corpse's condition when it was found? None. That's pretty suspicious. Do we know who found the body? Ember shakes her head. As usual, everything was brief in the news. No name other than Akani's. And you still think it's the gang? This area isn't gang controlled, but it was a possibility, yes. It's a different MO after all. And I heard Mrs. Okani was not all that popular. But isn't it a bit much to hurt someone because of some rumours? Shizeo makes a somewhat displeased noise. Well, so I decided to do some further digging into our victims' pasts. No much came up for the others, but Okani has quite a bit of history on her part. Really? Yes. The rumours aren't just, well, rumours. She really did all those things behind people's backs. Apparently, she'd also had an affair with the head... Whoa, that's big news. With the headmaster, which was a pretty huge scandal a few years back since she was just a university student back then. It was a massive deal when she came to work at Komochi High. It's not been crazily publicised because the headmaster covered most of it up. The headmaster divorced his wife Okani, but she went and married someone out of the blue and divorced within like 3 months. Holy crap. You're pretty thorough, aren't you? Shizeo makes a finger. Oh my gosh, yeah, a finger gun motion at Ember winking. That's a lot. Yeah, there were theories that Mrs. Okani's death was a crime of passion, but there's no evidence pointing at it at anyone involved. Or rather, nobody came forward and the news basically just snuffed the whole ordeal. Another dead end. Yeah. Chess Forum, we go to the mall for a quick lunch before Ember brings us to another site. This time it's towards the shrine. Ember? Just wait. Instead of going to the shrine, however, she picks an off trail that leads to the forest. This was a similar thing in that video log, wasn't it? What are we doing here? It's part of the investigation. What do you mean? Ember heaves out a sigh. All four of us have stopped in a small clearing in the forest. All remaining missing cases are reportedly seen around this area. Yikes. This close to the shrine, huh? Instinctively I turn westward, where I can just make out a bright crimson roof among the trees. Well, there are wild animals in the mountains. Since the area at the back of the mountains, across the river, is practically an overgrowth. A lot of adventurous people would drive down from the city and explore the place. It's a bit inconvenient, but it does bring a lot of donations to the shrine every tourist season. Maybe those people really went missing. And also, just as another observation, What does Shizeo and Emery usually define by offerings? Because they could also be translated as offering themselves as volunteers for those experiments. Except the missing people aren't from out of town. Another skeptical question. I'm surprised people aren't scared. As I looked to the shrine once more, memories of a certain myth came to me. Turning to Shizeo, I tried to make a joke to lighten the atmosphere. I'm surprised people aren't scared off by the cursed demon under the mountains. Oh-ho-ho. They weren't because Emery does her best to keep things under wrap, or rather our mother did. Who would want to have the main tourist attraction in town to be deserted because of some silly folktale? Wouldn't the shrine be even more popular if the myth is involved? I mean, I don't mean any disrespect, but a lot of people would be more interested in visiting if there's a, well, mystery involved. You're not wrong there. But only she keeps everything clean. Yes, I'm sure you do keep everything clean from the surface anyways, alone. I decided to tease Shizeo a little. With the Onishi's reputation, it's hard to believe you would want tourists flooding the mountains. We have to eat too, you know. Yes, of course, Shizeo, you have to eat too, don't you, demon? And I'll have you know, I'm all for tourists running rampant here. Makes life a little less boring. Emery hates it though, but she has to keep it open, as per mother's request. Oh? She was a formidable woman. Everyone was terrified of her. If she didn't pass away so suddenly, for sure there wouldn't be any of these crazy cases. Oh no. Shizeo, I'm so... Alas, that's not the case. Shall we move on? Yep. There were such parties throughout the woods, but every one of them came back empty-handed. This didn't help decrease the superstitious rumours spread by the occult club. It makes sense. The shrine is right there, so it wouldn't be difficult to link the happenings together. Jahar aims an apologetic look at Shizeo. Sorry, I can see that. With a myth about a demon being sealed underneath the mountains, it'd be hard to speculate things. High schoolers' imaginations can run wild, and any rumour can run wild without much prompting. Shizeo, as expected, doesn't seem all that offended. It's no big deal. I mean, it's not the craziest thing to ever have been spoken behind our backs, though. Are you sure? She pouts. Her lower lip jots forward as she taps her chin, seemingly deep in thought. Suddenly Shizeo turns to Ember, snapping her fingers. I remember now. The rumours about victims being lured by a ghost into a forest. Those were started by the occult club last year, weren't they? Ah, well... Ghost? Emmy wasn't happy with those rumours. I remember she had an explosive fight with the facility about it. She damned them to be squashed. Whoa. What? So it was Emmy who tried to shut down the club. I wouldn't say she tried to shut the club down. She didn't know it was the club, but by that point rumours had spread like wildfire already, and Emmy doesn't have patience to deal with petty things like that, so she went to the facility. No wonder. Fossility. What happened? Ember shrugs. Club almost got shot down because of that. Former president decided to have a protest. All of us got bullied by other people after. That's terrible. Oh, sorry I didn't realise that's what happened. Whatever. We shuffled around for a bit before deciding to descend the mountain. There isn't much else to do, and the things that we discussed today weigh heavily on our minds. Saying our goodbyes, we split ways, heading off home with much to think about. And we're at the shrine. the very place where the underground, but somebody say catacombs, just the underground sections themselves, dwell. As Ember and Chiharu depart, I decide to stay behind with Shizeo for a bit, mostly because she is wearing an unreadable expression, befuddled almost in deep in thoughts. Suddenly, as Shizeo snaps her fingers, realization dawns on her face. But that's it, I remember! Remember what? The first complex. I remember what it was built. I remember what it was before it was built over. That building is on a patch of land our family used to own. It was a community garden planted by our grandmother before our mother sold it. Oh. Now let's talk about the garden actually. I'm thinking of some ways to divert us off the cases and divert us away from any possibility of us being fixed into the USB thing, rather than just outright ignoring the USB and saying, you know what, no, I'm not going to check these out, I'm not going to see what's going to be involved, I just want to be taken away from all this, but at the same time still interested but not being a drone. What did your grandmother think about the garden being built over? She passed away before we were born. Oh, I'm sorry. Shizeo shrugs. Well, Shizeo never knew her grandmother, but it's still sad. Shizeo shrugs. Conversation sinks into silence. Desperate to keep it going, I change the topic slightly. I do remember the garden, though. You do? Yes. Grandpa took me there quite a few times, but never with Chiharu, strangely enough. Grandpa said he had fond memories of the garden. Oh wow. That does sound nice. Maybe we selected a bad option there and we should not have talked about that. But it does sound nice. You were really close to your grandpa, huh? Yeah, he essentially raised me and Chiharu. Our parents were pretty busy at the time, so... I'm sorry. So you know about the grandfather then. Something glistens in her eyes, but she looks away quickly, holding her lips between her teeth. Awkwardly, I shuffle on my feet. What I said must have triggered Shizeo her own memories, or lack, therefore, of her grandmother. Stay quiet. Without much else to talk about, I say goodbye to Shizeo and head home. Yep, I think that's ultimately for the best. Deny. Feeling my cheeks heat up as a non-hollow comment, I frown. We're not dating. Sure, whatever you say. Ah, this would what would normally be said. You're going to leave many girls heartbroken, you know. Yeah, Shizeo. Fine, I'll stop. Sheesh, no need to shout. Great. Stay silent. Stay quiet. No. So the whole magical shrine maiden. Let's inverse our decisions from last time. So the whole magical shrine maiden thing. That whole thing is real. Well, yeah, but it's a sensitive issue. But proof is proof, no? With this, we can somewhat disregard Ember's claims. Besides, I always thought Emery knows what she's talking about, and she certainly has the will to make it happen. You mean she believes in what she is talking about adamantly, even though she makes it a reality for herself? Weren't you raised on the same beliefs as she was? Again, I'm contractualized to say yes. She's talking in circles. Emery definitely isn't a subject Shizeo is comfortable talking about. There's a lot going on here, and I can't tackle everything all at once. Pinching the bridge of my nose, I attempt to break this whole issue down piece by piece. Gone over this before. What did we choose last time? Yeah, we chose Don't You Have Yours. It's nothing spectacular. But again, that's following on with her. There's nothing concrete on my end. I'm just speaking my observation. I don't have any conclusive theory yet. You don't have anything, or you don't want to tell me anything. Now, I don't want to tell you anything, because I'm trying my best to not be a drone. So you don't want to tell me then? It doesn't matter. And here I thought the whole purpose of this club was to share our thoughts on the matter. We're not in a club meeting, Shizeo. That sounds like a weak excuse. What do you want me to say? The seriousness when she began this conversation is gone. My answer was definitely not what Shizeo was looking for, and I honestly don't know what to think. She is either playing with me or stalling for the right words to be spoken. Regardless, it's not a situation I like being in. Nothing you don't want to say, of course. I know how much you hold her in high regard, and nothing you won't say a bad word about her, even if it's just between you and me. Heart thudding painfully against my ribcage, I narrow my eyes. What are you talking about, Shizeo? Just so that you know, favoritism is really unfair. No matter how you feel and what you know about her, you can't let your emotions cloud your judgment. We're kind of not fiddling in towards a good ending. You should have a heart-to-heart conversation with Emery. Don't get Chai involved in whatever you're playing. No, that's stupid because we know what happened last time. Who are you trying to play, Shizeo? Let's be oblivious. This isn't funny. What are you talking about? Another bout of silence. It's nothing. Forget about it. As I thought, you're just a sheep after all. You know what? Fine, I might be a sheep. At least I'm honest. I don't really know what caused me to raise my voice, but I'm just so sick and tired of people dancing around their answers and not giving me anything straight. Shizeo's taunting is only worsening my mood. Right. Sorry. She sounds sullen. I don't think Shizeo is feeling that remorseful. She sounds like she's only saying sorry because she was called out on it. Definitely very secretive. Well, I don't think there was a chance to. Regardless, that action alone makes her shady as hell. Stating the obvious here, aren't we? But I decided to humour her. Maybe Shizeo is getting somewhere. Yep. I mean, even if we give her the benefit of the doubt, let's say she forgot about it due to all the ruckus. Okay, I've already seen all this. She had plenty of chances to bring it up. If she had nothing to hide, she would have noticed a USB missing and asked around at least. Precisely. Do you think Ember might be involved with the case in more ways than we think? Wow, even saying that breaks a cold sweat on my brows. Part of me doesn't even want to acknowledge that. Not only because she's a friend, but also because I fear for myself and anyone who is involved with her. I'm not throwing out accusations, but if she's innocent, then she shouldn't have any fear. Doesn't she want to get to the bottom of this? Why ignore, hide the other pieces of evidence? More importantly, what else isn't Ember telling us? Someone set Ember up. Do you think someone else set Ember up? Huh? Okay, hear me out. I know everything looks bad for her right now, but what if someone used the situation to get dirt on Ember? Well, I mean, there is nothing in the USB that could possibly pin her with any kind of accusations yet. What's that saying? Ember is innocent until proven guilty. You should consider being a defendant lawyer in the future. Thanks. But yeah, you have a point. I guess I'm just so tired of all this stuff. I wanted a quick, convenient answer. It's fine. Trust me. I think we all feel the same. So, what now? We need to get an answer out of this somehow. Well, there's a halting note in her voice. Shizeo is contemplating something, and my mind immediately goes to our investigation together. Are you going to do something crazy again? Who, me? Why, I'd never. Fine. I'm thinking there are some sources that might be useful. I've already read through all that. I'll help. Do you need help? A small pause and a huff of laughter. We do. Okay, I think we selected the same choice as last time. You can say so if breaking and entering counts. It was just one time and I did all the work, but really I can do it alone this time. I'll support you no matter what. Thank you, Flare. That's the nicest thing anyone's spoken to me in a while. I've always known you are special. Yeah. Heart raises to my face, but all I say is true. I'm glad to have Shizeo as an ally, and I'll keep her as such. You're going to regret those words if we ever get to the bad end again. I mean what I said, though. Be careful. I will be. She hesitates for a moment. But only for a moment. You be careful, too. I'd hate it if anything happens to you. Thanks, I have to go now. Have a good day, Flare. She flounces away before I could reach out to her. Staring at the door, I let the gravity of everything finally sink in. Oh dear. I'm eager to get this good ending, and I'm not sure how we're going to go about it, because there's at least one good and bad ending for each character. Do not ask about the book. The book is not necessary. I slide in the seat opposite her, clasp my hands on the table and wait anxiously. Shizeo takes one glance of me and sighs heavily through her nose. There's no need to look so tense. It's not like I'm going to fail. What kind of test? Can I just have a look at the logs? I'm done. I'll lean back, needing the chair's hard support and distance away from those infernal documents. I'm not sure in shock is an appropriate way to describe how I feel right now anymore. I don't think there's even a word to contain all of this. Still again with that? You're telling me that the curse is real? Suddenly, Shizeo gives a curt nod, like an idiot, a gawker. Okay, we've already seen that. So, they started experimenting on them? Yes. Is this shocked horror of yours trying to make a facade? Is it a facade? Talk about Ember. And Ember? Ember was one of them. Yes. What exactly happened to her? You had everything I showed you, right? But we didn't, though. That was the thing, right? This is everything I managed to find in the basement. It's not detailed, but based on what we have, Ember was the most successful experiment they had. But the experiments, they mutated her. Yes, I think with the cursed fragments and exercising into... Okay, we've already seen all that. But it's still not allowing me to skip, so there's something else going on here. Ooh. Her soul was warped. Unexpected way. Yes, and it was projected, so the mortal soul gave into the pressure, and it projected through her appearance. Scared of the imminent explanation, I croak. How? Biting her lower lip, Shizeo produces her phone. Pulls up a few pictures. It's all I could find. If Shizeo didn't tell me that was human, Ember, I wouldn't even dare to think. The pictures were all taken in poor lighting, but creatures in okay, we've already seen all this. But we still can't skip it though, so there's still something else behind all this. Ember, shudder go down my spine. But this could be anything. A weak smile. It's hard to believe, right? It is. Shift through the files again, feeling uncomfortable. Shizeo watches over me. Yes, I am. Of course. It's a lot to take in. Not only are we dealing with a supernatural friend, but also some crazy supernatural experiments from over a decade ago. It all sounds so exciting to me. But can you believe it? No. No, this is absurd. I can't believe you. Anyone would think something like this could have happened. I don't know if you're trying to dupe me or someone else is trying to dope you, but this is ridiculous. Now we're bending the story. Shizeo stares at me. Something in her eyes make me lean backward. Uneasy, she searches my face and clearly doesn't find what she wants. For her expression disappears under a careful mask constructed non-holance. You can't or you won't. Pardon? You can't believe it? or you won't believe it. I looked down at the documents again, mainly to avert from the intensity of her eyes. Something like this must be made up. Come now, Flare. That must have sounded weak even to you. Silence stretches between us. Shizeo stares at me as if she could look down to the core of my soul, and I squirm in discomfort like a hooked worm. Finally she stands, gathering up the documents in swift motion. Shizeo is leaving, and I'm too numb to stop her. Maybe this is for the best. When everything is cleared out, she looks at me again, with an inquisitive raise of an eyebrow. Tell me, do you like reading books, Flare? This is not a library date, okay? Not letting me answer, Shizeo continues immediately, soldiering her bag. It's one of the only things I have in common with Emery. We both like reading books, just different genres. Emery is into all the scientific and historical stuff, while I love reading novels. But do you know what I like most about reading novels? What is it? Finding plot holes. Some of the greatest stories fail because of seemingly invisible but fatally crucial plot holes, and it simply fills me with delight upon finding them. I'll see you around, Flare. And bounces away before I could get another word out. Shocked by her sudden departure, it takes me a long moment before I could gather my bearings and leave. Instead of taking the bus, I decide to walk home, my mind overloaded with questions and doubts. It's ironic. Wasn't I so firm on giving Ember the benefit of the doubt? Why am I now doubting my resolve? Because it's all a lie. A voice whispers in my head, suspiciously, sounding like Shizeo's. Damn it, that's the worst kind of suspicious voice ringing through your head. Why can't I bring myself to believe Ember is something sinister? Because it is easier to delude myself rather than accepting the truth. Was I being stupid? Was Shizeo right? Was I being too stubborn for sending Shizeo away? No! We need to go against the grain and stop Shizeo's wrath. Hovering over a call button. It happens all too fast. Oh. That was all too sudden. I feel a pain before my brain even registers what was happening. The explosion at the back of my neck brings me to my knees, my palms scraping painfully against the pavement. Ugh. Colour bursts in my vision as my muscles throbbing, grasping. I try picking up my phone, only to have it kicked out of my hand. A heavy running shoe stomps down on my fingers and I scream soundlessly as the bones shatter. With the last bits of strength in me, I try to look up to identify the assaulter, but something collides with my head. The world goes black, churning with malevolent pain. Yikes. But how do we survive that, though? Flare! Flare! Wake up, Flare, please! Spluttering, I open my eyes. First comes a daze, then comes a searing pain. Chiharu? Oh my god, Flare! Chiharu? Carefully, Chiharu helps me up, a shaking arm bracing at my back to steady me. Blinking stars encrust from my eyes. I fight down the wave of pain-induced nausea. Where are we? I don't know. I just remember going to my room, but then to darkness, and I woke up here. That doesn't give me a lot to work with. Groaning, I try to take in our surroundings. The forest. That doesn't make sense. The last thing I remember is that I was walking out of... Oh gods. That's it. That jolted my memory, along with a painful sear at the back of my head. What's wrong? I think Ember did this to me. She hurt you? Yeah. At least I think so. This is so much to absorb. Chiharu, we have to get out of here. Right. Let me look. She gestures weakly at the back of my neck. I mumble an affirmation and let Chiharu scramble to try and fix whatever she can. Flare, it looks really bad. I figured as much. It looks like it's burned. At least wound is closed. Here. Chiharu rips off a few strips of her shirt and carefully wraps around the wound. At the wound. The pain of being touched almost makes me want to vomit, but I grip my teeth and hold it down. Couldn't clamp down the flinch though. Sorry. It's fine. Just make it quick. Really? It's not fine though. I ball my hands into fists, trying not to whine every time Chiharu dabs at the wound. In an effort to distract myself, I take stock of our situation. A quick pat at my pocket confirms my suspicion. My phone is gone. Chiharu also confirms that she woke up without her phone, so calling for help is not an option. Looking around, I concede that I've definitely not been here before, but judging by the uneven, sanded terrain, I can make a pretty good guess. We're on the mountain, hopefully somewhere near the shrine. The orange glow above the trees indicates it's sunset, so it must have been out cold for a while. That doesn't explain the heat of the wind and that strange smell it carries. It smells suspiciously like... Chiharu, we have to go. But... No time, Chiharu. I think the forest is burning. Like fire. But where? We don't know. Not wanting to waste time with her stampering, I abruptly stand up, pulling Chiharu to her feet with me. The pain makes me dizzy, but adrenaline gives me the strength to steady my legs. Remembering an old trick I read somewhere, I wet my index finger and hold it against the wind. We'll need to travel downward and upwind. Okay, here. With an arm bracing around my ribs, Chiharu helps guide my steps, seeing that I can't operate my neck much. We make steady pace, but I feel like we're still being too slow. As we shuffle along, the heat shifts noticeably higher in the air. Fear curls around my mind, fear that we aren't going to make it. Just as I'm about to suggest Chiharu to just go and find help, we spot a dirt trail. Let's follow that. Yeah. We don't have an option anyway. Not knowing where we are and not risking a tumble down the mountainside. Any question of where the path leads is thankfully answered by a peak of sanded roof behind the trees, spotted after what felt like hours of us shambling together. Flare, look! It's the shrine! Maybe we shouldn't go in there. What are you talking about? We need for help! Of course Chiharu doesn't know, and now is absolutely not the time to freak her out. Plus she is white. We do need for help. I just hope Shizeo isn't around. And if she is, she wouldn't try to smite me. So, despite my better judgment, I bite down my words and shuffle along, ignoring the worried look Chiharu is throwing me. We manage to get through via the side entrance. By the time we approach the front yard, my vision starts blurring and my breathing becomes uneven. But that isn't even the worst part. The shrine seems deserted. Time travel? But maybe they're at the back. Huh? Just maybe get a phone. But right here. Carefully she helps me sitting down, propped up with my side against a blissfully cold pillar. Okay, let me just eat. Oh dear. Out of nowhere the front door explodes. Ember comes flying out. Her body bounces limply on the stonework. Much to her distress and shock, she is covered in blood and unconscious. A nightmare? Emery! What the? Instinctively, Chiharu runs towards Emery's unmoving body, but stops short when another figure leaps out of the inside of the building. You, Shizeo. Shizeo's startled eyes meet ours. Her mouth forms in an unspoken word. However, in a fraction of a second, her expression draws into pure anger as she rolls away, just in time to dodge what could only be described as a hulking figure with matted fur. Ember! Yeah! What the hell? Our reaction draws the creature's attention. and it stands to full height, revealing a snarling face that has both me and Chiharu recoiling in fear. Oh gods. Holy hell. Shizeo didn't lie. That's... Ember? Ember, or whatever she is now, turns to stare at us, eyes burning in Canine's bride. She snarls at us, mismatched eyes flare in hatred as they meet mine. You... Terrified, Chiharu lets out a shriek. This prompts Ember out to let me a roar. Ember let out a roar, sorry. But instead of stalking over and prancing at us like I thought she would, Ember snaps around, growling at Shizeo, who is discreetly trying to retreat with her sister's broken body. Stay where you are. I'm not done with you. This isn't how it's supposed to be. That isn't for you to decide. Shizeo lets out an enraged hiss. Is it now? Is that why you dragged those two here? Oh. They were supposed to stay put. In the forest you set fire to? Heh. You wanted us killed? You don't trust me. You eat up her lies. You'd better be dead. So that's how it is then. My stomach churns sickeningly with a nagging pain at the back of my neck. What's more disgusting is the fact that I'm not as shocked as Chiharu is. Somehow I believe that Ember would always betray us all along. Hypocrite. You said Shizeo lied, but didn't you lie to us anyway? Ignoring my throbbing wound, I stand up, wobbling as another wave of nausea hits me. Perhaps making our adversary angry at the moment wouldn't be the smartest idea I could make, but I don't care anymore. It's not just betrayal, it's the fact that I know I'm not going to survive anyway. That thought alone sends adrenaline surging through my veins. Maybe with me drawing her attention, Shizeo could scrounge up something, and at least someone could get out. Maybe. Is the club just that? An elaborate lie to cover the fact that you're this? I gesture at Ember. Ignoring her snarl, I stagger forward, brushing aside a panicked Chiharu to approach Ember, heedless of the danger. Ember herself is either too angry or too shocked by my stupidity to react. Either way, it buys time. All the allegations you made, the theories, investigations, they were just cover-ups, weren't they? To direct the attention elsewhere. You. My breath hitches, staring into Ember's glowing eyes. Cruel canines and deformed body. It hits me. You insert yourself in a different angle, so no one would suspect the club is a ruse, a cover. You're the culprit. You murdered all those people and played us for fools. Multiple things happen as I point at Ember accusingly. Oh dear. Gosh. Ember lets out a furious howl and backhands me so hard I feel my jaw shatter. Chiharu's scream rings in my ears as I collapse to the side. Behind Ember, Shizeo pulls out two throwing knives and sends them flying. The first one embeds in Ember's shoulder, but she slaps the other one away, then turns to face Shizeo fully. I'll kill you. I'll kill you all. Dazed, I watch as Ember lunges at Shizeo. Growl! My impressions of wild animals are not great, okay? Time slows down. As I lay breathing, I see Ember making a deadly leap towards Shizeo and Emery, ready to kill. Shizeo squares herself, teeth gritting and eyes wild. At the very last possible moment, Shizeo rolls out of the way, pushing Emery's unconscious body into Ember's path. my whole life. I have never heard or seen something as sickening as the way Ember's claws digging into Emery, through soft flesh, crushed bones and smashed organs. Emery is dead before she has a chance to fight back. Somewhere behind me, I hear Chiharu's fall, her scream hoarse and choked with vomit. But I can't tear my eyes away from Ember, thrashing to get free of the carcass that's now a deceased clubmate, sending chunks of meat and blood to stain the stones around us. And then there is Shizeo. What the heck is that transformation? That is someone who has broken their sanity, alright? Sigils glow as if burned into her body, and her eyes are the deepest pits of hell. New blades in hand, Shizeo pounces, slashing at Ember's unprotected face. This anger, this shows that Shizeo, no matter the circumstances, no matter what she went through, she cared for her sister and cared for her family. Howling, Ember lashes out, but Shizeo seems to be much quicker now than before. She dances around Ember, now adding more and more cuts, but only enrages Ember further. My eyes blur. I don't think I could hold out much longer. The adrenaline is gone. Old and new pain threatens to have darkness swallow me whole. Flare! Chiharu's face enters the line of my vision. Terrified and streaked with both tears and vomit, she flips me onto my back. Flare, we gotta go! Stars explode behind my eyes as I force the words out. Shaking her head vehemently, Chiharu is shakily but stubbornly tugs on my arm. No, I can't leave you here, please! With the last of my strength, I yank my hand out of hers. Someone, Shiro. Yeah, it's the most I could manage out of my broken jaws. But judging by Chiharu's tearful expression, I know she understands. Flare, please. Run! Sobbing, Chiharu finally staggers to her feet and runs. Powering through the pain, I push myself up and nearly knock myself out in the process. Through the sheen of tears, I can barely make out the blurry figures of Ember and Shizeo trading blows as flames start licking the edge of the shrine. Your fault. You used me. Ha ha. You wanted revenge, and I gave it to you, didn't I? You killed everyone who didn't trust you, didn't you? And you got your hands on the hair of the Onishi. Is it then enough to sate your bloodshed? No, not enough. Howling, Ember lashes out. Shizeo, as quick as she is, gets caught stumbling back. She holds onto her abdomen, where her intestine is splitting out. Yikes. Blood fills her mouth and Shizeo hacks, painting her teeth crimson. Face it, no matter who you blame, what's inside you, that is what you are. A monster through and through. How? Yikes. Grabbing at both sides of Shizeo's... Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Just realised what that was! Grabbing at both sides of Shizeo's head, Ember rips it straight off. Ha! Ha! Instinctively I try to escape, but the pain finally gets to me. I fall, eagle spread, as Ember turns to loom over me. Now, you. Yikes. As her clawed hands closed around my throat, my last thought is of Chiharu, praying that she has escaped the blooded sky above. Golly wash. End. An alternative ending. Holy Christ. Back to title. That was definitely an alternative ending. A bad end, but definitely alternative. Like, it's not red, so it's not like categorized as a bad ending. Even though this definitely was our demise. Back to title. So, from the conclusion of that, Emery, first unconscious and then severely impaled. Then Shizeo, from alive to being some sort of monster, to having her head completely ripped in two. But my gosh. So, there's definitely a difficulty here. Because I'm not thinking of anything else that could be of the case. Like, we could start to believe Shizeo, and then that would allow us to stay in the restaurant for longer, like in the original Let's Play, where we just stuck to Shizeo no matter what she said. But there's still something to that. But thank you all so much for watching, guys, and we shall see each other in the next time, where we hopefully will be getting Shizeo's good ending. Have a wonderful day and take care of yourselves.